Good afternoon. It's February 14th, 2023, and just a range day today. Um, there's not really much else to say. I mean, we had this after the news item, this big move down, probably two measured legs. Uh, yeah, exactly two measured legs. We had a break, a move up, probably two measured legs up, and then we had a huge sell off, a break, two measured legs up, and move to a new low, and just up and down really. And we closed slightly above the opening price. So let's take a look at these trades. I didn't see a lot in the morning that I liked. In this pretty strong downtrend though, perhaps you would have taken something. So actually, yeah. So price or 5 o'clock comes. You probably want to be flat, by 5:30 because this happens, and this was just crazy. And so perhaps you come in here. If you take this second entry, that probably works. But I mean, you're not expecting a new low, so you probably don't want to take that. But 44.75. Yeah, so that would have gotten you a scalp, but that's pretty much it. And yeah. So we come up here, and I was looking at this one because this kind of looks like a failure, but you see we tick higher here, and we tick higher. Oh yeah, but it doesn't break lower until right there. So that's tempting. That technically is the failure, but I don't know. That's just a tough call. It's the signal bar closes above the EMA, so I think you have to sit that out. Then we get a lower high off the trend line. Perhaps you look at that, but not a whole lot in here, so I don't think you can take it. By here, it's just so much overlap, you don't want to take anything in there. And we come down here, and really, it's probably something like that. Break, two legs of correction, and a move down, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because we don't get a move to a new low after the break of this larger channel, but that definitely looks like a larger channel. But anyway, the way I'm looking at it, we just reverse. Perhaps you take this one, but it looks congested, and it looks like range-like. You see a lot of dojis in there, but that is a second entry long. You could also look at this one as a higher. It's not a higher low though. That's the problem. We get a second entry long, and it's not a higher low. But you could argue that it's like a double test. So it's just it's tough. Maybe you take this higher low right here. And really, this kind of looks like a failure, to be honest. I mean, but you're going into so much resistance. This looks like a hidden second entry long, but none of these are really in a good context. None of these. So, I mean, after you get this leg up, then we get first entry, second entry. So I marked this green, but I mean, it looks pretty good to me. I don't know why I marked it green. I'm going to mark that blue. Especially because if you could look at this and think, okay, this looks like we're going sideways. But let's say you draw the lows down here. That's above the midline. And that does look like sideways action. But I like that that's above the midline because you're not going to run into the midline and find resistance. So you might, I think that's That one's pretty good. I actually am going to keep it green because I'm seeing all this overlap and dojis. So just not stuff I like. And then we come over here and you get a second entry long. That's a very, very bullish signal bar that I like, but it's not off a trend line. And I think you're pushing it to call it a double test. I mean, you could see, I mean, prices came back and tested this level. So, you know what? I mean, it actually is pretty good. Maybe it is blue. I'm not sure, though. Anyway, we make this new high. You should have had this channel drawn so you know. And we get up here and we're just overshooting the channel. So you got to be really careful. You get a second entry long up here. But again, we already had overshoots. So you got to be really careful. They make one last push up and it starts going sideways. And over here, it really just looks like we're topping out. And so you do get a second entry short right here. And maybe you consider that. I mean, we broke through the EMA right here. We tried to go higher again and failed. And it just looks like something you might take a risk on. And, you know, if you did take a risk there, that was a very good place. You know, you probably got in on this massive move. Anyway, we get a break, move to a new low, but this break isn't convincing. So this looks like a hidden second entry short to me. Only problem, I'm still going to mark it green because even if it's not, it kind of looks like a break and move to a new high, but you could also just look at it like it's one leg up. But anyway, we break below the overnight lows and quickly it quickly fails. So, you know, you probably would consider this, but it's just a first entry. Breaks above the EMA, and then we're kind of going on both sides of the EMA. So perhaps you take this reversal setup right here. I just don't like that this swing was below the EMA, but it looks pretty good. You can see some other people liked it too. Turns out we're in this trend up. Here, I think more people were probably playing the yellow channel that I have drawn because this channel, it takes us a while to make a new high from this channel. And really, I think this channel is just really just like a channel of correction from this one. That's just how it looks. That's just how it feels. But anyway, we get a break of the yellow channel and a move to a new high. Let's take a look at this one. I think this, I looked at this as a double test. That also looks like a two-legged pullback. It's close to the trend line. But again, it's just a green arrow. Nothing great in here. And then we find resistance at the midline. We can't go higher, and the floor falls out. So you get a break of this channel, move to a new low. You get a second entry short, and we're below the overnight lows again. You get a second entry short, and we do make it to a new low, but we find support. And you know, prices are trying to go lower, but they can't. They go back above the EMA. You get a first entry, second entry, and I like, oh wait, I skipped this one. I thought this looked like a failure, and I thought we were going to test these lows, and that's exactly what we did. I like the feel of that. It breaks below the EMA, test it once, test it twice. Again, you might be considered or concerned with going into this midline, so that's something you need to think about. Maybe I should mark this green. I'll keep it red, but maybe I should mark that green for that reason. We already have a new low. Yeah, I'll mark it green. But I like this one because there's so much room back to the EMA, and that's clearly a second entry short. And I thought we would definitely test the EMA here. So you can see it goes to the EMA. Some people are taking their profits. It goes back, and when you make this triple bottom, you get some bullish momentum. First entry, failed second entry. This is a reversal. Unfortunately, it doesn't touch the EMA. If it did touch the EMA, I think that would be blue. But, look, we have a break of this downward channel, move to a new low, test it once. We go above the EMA because this test failed. And then we try and go again, and it fails. So we got it through the EMA. So there is some buying coming in. And then when we test it one more time, boom, I think you're going to go higher. Just not a great setup, unfortunately. Come up here, get a convincing break, move to a new high. You do get a second entry long, but look how much overlap there is here. So just, again, nothing great in here. It's very sideways, and then we just rock it up. And you get a break, and second entry that leads to a new high. Trying to think if this is okay. This is not where I'm looking. Okay, and we're just going sideways. Really, I don't see anything I like in here. So we made this new high. So you might think that we're going to reverse, and we get this leg down. And so I thought we would make another measured move down. So when we come over here, and you get this first entry, failed second entry, I like that setup. But then we come short of the measured move, so it looks like we're just going sideways, really. So, and that's what ends up happening. We come back above the EMA, and you're just going sideways. And we come up here, we fail, and we make a measured move down, test that opening price, and then it just reverses, and you get a first entry, failed second entry, nice reversal pattern, nice bearish signal bar to trap all the shorts. I like that one. And if you got a runner from this, you would have come very close to hitting this target. So if you're taking your profits here, like on the simulator, I almost got the entire move off this, and I held the runner, and you get a break and a move to a new high, and if you just put your stop right above that to make a new high, you would have gotten it. So that's just market geometry. But then we just are going sideways, chopping back and forth. I don't think you want to take anything in here. Too choppy, too many dojis, too congestive. Come over here and you get a double bottom pretty much. First entry, second entry. That's also like a quadruple test or whatever of that price level. So maybe you consider that. But that's close to market close. So I think you're better off sitting out. So that's how I saw it today. Hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.